Hello, and welcome to the Coach Therapy Podcast. I'm Coach Q, and I am so excited that you decided to tune in today. We're going to take a journey through vulnerability so that we can reach clarity, healing, growth, and success. You're going to learn some things about you, you'll learn some things about me, but most importantly, you will receive tools every episode that will help you to become better every single day. Enjoy Coach Therapy. Hello, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Coach Therapy Podcast. I'm Coach Q, and I'm so excited to be chatting with you today. Wow, y'all, it's been a good week. It's been a good week for me. Um, the year has started off strong, and I am just in a state of gratitude, in a state of joyfulness. Man, I talked about last time that it just had been such a long time since I had really experienced joy. And now I am in a state of just joyfulness and I am embracing it all the way. Like I am literally allowing myself to just feel the joy and rest in the joy. And I'm telling y'all, it feels amazing. And I am so grateful to be in this space. I was just like going back and forth with, what do I want to talk about today? Because I had a couple things that happened this week that just made me think, or a couple conversations that I had, or a couple things that I listened to that just made me think, and it gave me perspective on a couple of new things. And so I guess I'll start with some sports stuff because y'all know me and my sports. I just love to watch sports. But if you are a sports person, or if you just are on social media, you probably heard the news of um, Nick Saban retiring from Alabama. Now, everybody knows that, the top college football schools, Alabama and Georgia. And when you think of the top, the GOAT, if you will, of college football, arguably you're going to get Nick Saban. I really don't think that there's much of anybody else that really compares to what he has done and his accomplishments. And so it shook up the whole college football world. Like, what? Nick Saban is leaving Alabama. He's retiring. And it was just crazy. So it was just like plastered everywhere. The talk of the city, like, oh my God. So I was watching an interview that Nick Saban did um, the day after he retired. And they were asking him all kinds of questions. Nick Saban, why did you leave? And um, I love, number one, that he left on his own terms. And a lot of times, um, it can be really difficult to deem when seasons of our lives are up. Sometimes we will continue to move forward with something because we don't feel ready, or we feel like um, we have more to give, or just maybe I shouldn't. All these things can come up and we don't let go of seasons on our own terms. Sometimes we wait for things to go sour, and um, and we just hold on to things too long. So I did like that, and that was on his own terms, and he just felt like it just didn't come with the ease that he was accustomed to, and um, he and his wife had made the decision, and all of these things. But what stood out to me the most in the interview, they asked him a question about his success. And when I tell y'all, this has been embedded in my mind since I heard it, and I want to say it right. He said that when you climb the mountain successfully, consistently, you become the mountain. Let me say that again. Nick Saban said, when you climb the mountain successfully, consistently, you become the mountain. Ooh, honey, let that sink in. Man, that was so profound. And I had never heard it put that way. And what I loved about that statement, it was loaded, number one. It was a loaded statement, but I want to share with you what I gained just from hearing him saying that and like really marinating on that. The first two things he said was successfully and consistently. When you climb the mountain successfully and consistently, that stood out to me because sometimes when we reach success, we want to stop. We want to be like, boom, I did it. Cool, leave me alone. But this man said successfully and consistently. This is someone who coached at Alabama for 17 years and I believe won 6 championships. Okay. So successfully, consistently. So not only do we have to reach success, but we have to be consistent. That we will have periods in our lives where it feels like we're starting all over again. And we're at the bottom of the mountain and we have to work our way up. And we're at the bottom of the mountain, we have to work our way up and continue to receive success, but over and over again. That was important to me because there have been moments in my life when I have done something successfully and then I felt like, okay, well, I did this, so isn't this working out this way? Or why am I not seeing the results of this or whatever? That man said successfully, consistently. And so he began to talk about each season, it's starting over again. New guys and new staff sometimes. And you have to go all the way back from A all the way back to Z. You have to climb successfully, consistently. And for some of us who are on a journey and we have this vision in mind and we've done the work once or twice and we still don't have all that we want and we don't feel like we're the mountain yet, we have to do it again. We have to climb the mountain once again successfully. And I'm like, wow, that spoke to me because um a lot of times I find myself in a space of being like, when is this gonna work out? When are things gonna change? When and the reality is just because I've reached success a couple of times doesn't mean that I don't need to go back and start all over again. The next thing that stood out to me is he said, you become the mountain once you climb it successfully and consistently. And I thought about my experience with Stone Mountain. So I live here in Georgia and um I used to every Saturday climb Stone Mountain and I really need to get back to it cuz honey, that was good for my thighs and my butt. But anyways, I used to climb Stone Mountain each weekend. And I remember like when you climb Stone Mountain, it's like when you first start off, it's pretty flat. And you get to about the halfway point and you get to see like, oh my God, I'm almost there. And it seems so high up. It's one part that's so steep that it's a rail. They added a steel rail to the mountain so that you could literally pull yourself up because it's pretty steep. And so it seems like once you get to that middle part, it's a little resting place. And you just looking up like, I gotta get all the way up there. I gotta get up there. And I remember having to talk to myself halfway through. Like, God, you got to help me. I remember quoting scriptures like, I would look to the eyes, to the heels from which cometh my help, whatever the scripture is. Listen, I'm a preacher's kid. I am not the preacher. So judge your mama. But anyways, I just remember like praying and quoting scriptures and just like, Lord, please just help me get to the top of this mountain. And I remember getting to the top of the mountain and I would be out of breath and I would just be breathing so hard, but I would be in awe of the beauty around me at the top of the mountain. And as I would stand at the top, I would see all of the people that were climbing that would be looking in my direction because they too wanted to reach the point where I was at the top of the mountain. And I would do it every weekend. And I remember posting my pictures on social media, and people started saying, "Hey, I want to climb the mountain with you. I want to go. I want to go." I got more and more people to come up to the mountain with me. But when he said, "You become the mountain," it made me think about the climb. It's so grueling, but the beauty in being at the top makes it all worth it. And there is now a new aspiration for myself, and that is to become the mountain. Not so much the obstacle of the mountain, but the beauty of the mountain. Because a lot of times we forget when we're all the way at the bottom, the beauty that's at the top because of what it takes to get there. And if you become the mountain, that means that you have climbed it successfully, consistently. I want to find myself at the pinnacle of success, at the standard. That's when he said, "You become the mountain." I realized, oh, you become the standard. You become the inspiration. You become the beauty. You become the goal. But that means you got to do it well. That means you got to overcome some crazy adversity. That means you got to do it crying and afraid and sometimes alone and struggling. But we all have the power to become the mountain through our consistency. And so I wanted to talk about this because as we're, starting off this new year, we all start, Happy New Year. We're back at square one, right? Happy New Year. And there's a mountain in front of you again. And you're going to have to climb once again successfully. And so don't get discouraged by the fact that I'm starting all over again. It's okay. We all are. But those who do it consistently and successfully, you become the standard. There is someone who needs you to become the standard. Someone needs you to be their inspiration, to be their goal. So it's not just for you. As Nick Saban was talking about, him doing it all of these years, getting to the top, they said that in 17 years, 44 players were drafted in the first round of the NFL. Wow. From him doing it consistently and successfully, look at all of the people he took with him. Look at all of the doors that he opened as a result of his persistence and his success. So often we think that what we do is simply for us. It is not. It's not just for you. There is someone else connected to what you do. There is somebody else connected to these podcasts that I do every week. It is consistent. I'm like, do it again. And I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to do it again. Because I know that through my words, I'm carrying somebody through another day, maybe through a tough moment, maybe through another year, whatever it may be. It's something that is connected to what I do that's going to bring other people with me. And so when I'm at the bottom of the mountain and I'm looking up and I know I got to get back to the top and I know it's tough and I know it's hard, I'm like, oh, it's worth it, because I can't just do it one time and expect to be the standard. I got to do it again and again and again and again. And I will. I'm committed to that. And you have to be committed to whatever the mountain is in your life. Whatever it is that you have to climb up, I guarantee you, if you just continue to climb, you will reach the top. You'll reach the top and you'll be able to see the beauty of the journey. Nick Saban is able to retire after 17 seasons and see the beauty and see what he has accomplished and see, oh man, I have become I have become the mountain. Now there are people that is climbing to reach his standard of success, to get to where he is. Right? If you watch college football, it's like Alabama and Georgia. What's up? They was mad because Florida State didn't get into the playoffs because Alabama did, and Florida State had a undefeated record last season. I think Alabama lost one game, but Nick Saban is he the mountain. Alabama is the standard, baby, and so they was like, "Hey, this is the mountain." They didn't win, right? They lost to what was it, Michigan? Michigan ended up winning the chip. However, it was things concessions were made because they are the standard of the mountain. And there are things that are going to just work out in your favor as you continue to climb and as you become the mountain. It won't always be tough, right? And then one day you'll be able to look and say, wow, look at all I've done. Look at all the people that I brought with me. Look at all that I have accomplished. And so as we're at the top of this year and we just are climbing again, we're just trying to have another successful year. I'm just trying to have joy. I'm trying to keep a peace of mind. I'm trying to accomplish these goals. I got to climb up another mountain. And man, last year mountain, that thing was steep. Y'all hear me? It was steep, but I did it. And so here we are in 2024, and I'm going to climb again. Because I know if I climb it successfully, consistently, I'll become the mountain. I'll become the standard of joy and success and peace and happiness and love and all of those things that I am on a journey to embody. I will become those things. And so that just makes me so happy. And I just wanted to share that with you. Become the mountain. Climb, honey, climb. Don't you dare give up. I know it's gonna be exhausting. You might be huffing and puffing on your way, but the top is worth it. And you're worth all of the struggle so that you reach the very top. I'm Coach Q, and I am thankful that you tapped in once again. I hope you got something from this episode of Coach Therapy Podcast. Until then, take care of yourself and have a phenomenal week.